You never know what other people are going through. When I was 13 years old, I had to walk about 15 minutes to school. And in the middle of that walk, there was a train track. And every single time I passed that train track, I had to fight my own mind. You see, I knew I didn't really want to die, but I just couldn't live like that anymore. I knew that something had to change soon. Otherwise, the dark side of my mind would win. And obviously, I'm standing here today, so I made it. So what happened? I discovered the power of social health, and I discovered the power of what it means to have a real friend. The first lesson that I learned is that it's not about the numbers, it's about depth of the relationships. You see, I had friends, but I didn't have any real friends until I met Katie. When I met Katie, our friendship from the outside didn't make any sense. I was the bullied kid, and she was the popular girl. She was the funny one. Everybody loved her. Her life from the outside seemed amazing. But we had two things in common. We lived on the same side of town, so we shared the walk. But more importantly, we shared a heavy, dark truth. You see, Katie, she would always wear all black. Long pants, long sleeves, long hair covered up her neck. And we thought that she just liked the style. But she was hiding bruises because she got abused by her dad. And when we connected with Katie, at first it was very awkward, but eventually we shared the walk and we started talking about the darkness, like, wow, I don't want to go to school, I don't want to go home, I don't know what I'm going to do. And we talked about ending it on the train track. And that showed me that talking about the darkness and opening up heart to heart can lead us into the light. And that showed me the importance of connections and real friends. Now, you might think that social health might be all about connections with other people based on that story. Well, you couldn't be more wrong. It actually starts with the foundation of the relationship that you have with yourself. After I Googled how to be happy around the same time, I started waking up at 5 a.m. and going for a run and started working on myself. And I didn't know it at the time, but that's how I started working on the relationship with myself. And my mom at the time, she would wake up at about 4:30 and she would leave before 5 a.m. to go to work. And one day she was late and she caught me getting ready, putting my shoes on. What the hell are you doing? It's 5 a.m. Oh, I'm going for a run. She wasn't happy about it. She screamed at me for a while. And thankfully, I followed through and I kept going out and I kept running. I didn't know it at the time, but I was working on the relationship that I had with myself. With running, with meditation, with self-forgiveness practices, to stop blaming myself for not doing so well in life. And that helped. Now, I want to take you a little bit forward because I want to say how this impacted my life and where it led. When I was 19 years old, I was happy, I had friends, and I was doing pretty well in school. And I saw so many other people out there struggling with similar things that I used to struggle with. So I thought, I think my story would help. So I decided to start sharing my story and doing speaking and making videos, and I didn't have really good English, and my presentation was awful, and I didn't have anybody that would listen, so I said, you know what, I'm going to go online. And I'm going to go on social media, and I'm going to go live every day for 90 days to practice my speaking, share my story, and give back, help our people. I did 90 days. And then I did another 90 days, and another 90 days. And about the middle of that, I got a very interesting message from a person that never liked any of the videos. He never commented on anything. It was a long, long message. And he said he was super inspired, and he loved what I was doing, and he wanted to help. And it ended with this paragraph saying, I'm so inspired of what you're doing, and I want to help you so much. I have $10,000 US as a sponsorship for your education. Wow. And obviously, first thing that you think when you get a message like this, it's a scam. Obviously, it's a scam, right? But you know what? I'm going to go along with it and see what happens. And I said, oh my gosh, thank you so much. But I haven't even seen that much money in my life. Like I was making, $3.50 an hour in the Czech Republic. And I said, but I don't know what I would do with that money, but I could really use like 3,000, And he said, okay, here you go. Sent me $3,000 US. And said, when you figure out what you're going to do with the rest, you have 7 more on me. Wow. And so he ended up paying for my education, and I met him later in life in person, and we traveled around quite a bit. And so I want to share all of this to say that one conversation, one interaction can change it all, whether it is your personal life or your business life, if you go out there and you build deep, meaningful, and authentic relationships. Thank you.